It hung around my neck like a brand. A quiet humiliation, pre-planned, polished, delivered with a smile. My wife leaned in, her perfume sugary and suffocating. "That means no plate," she whispered, as if sharing a joke I should appreciate. No plate. At my daughter's wedding? The daughter whose college I paid for? Whose first apartment lease I signed? Whose future I built brick by careful brick while the world slept? Her eyes met mine across the hall. She didn't come over. She didn't smile. She didn't even wave. They had placed me at a table near the back, almost outside, as if I were a distant cousin, a footnote. My hands were steady. My heartbeat wasn't. Silence filled me, not empty, but sharp, a cold space where warmth used to live. I walked to the gift table, each envelope stacked neatly, fragile hopes in paper form. I found mine quickly. $317,500, the fund check. Years of sleepless nights, calculated investments, restraint while they spent, floated, indulged. I slipped the envelope back into my coat, a simple motion, surgical, quiet. Someone behind me gasped. My wife's voice pierced the hall. "What are you doing?" I turned, just enough to let her see the truth in my eyes. "I think you won't need this anymore." Her face blanched, mouth opening, closing, a fish dragged from water, finally realizing it cannot breathe. I walked out. No rush, no hesitation. Outside, my phone buzzed once, then again, then violently, a digital panic. And I felt nothing, just the wind, and the quiet, my throne. Humiliation tastes metallic, like pennies on the tongue. It had started months earlier, small shifts, subtle changes. My wife whispering when I entered a room, her laughter suddenly reserved for someone else. My daughter visiting less, answering texts slower, colder. They thought I wouldn't feel it. People always confuse calm with blindness. I heard every tone shift, saw every shared glance, noticed every missing thank you, every new opinion borrowed from someone unseen. One night, I heard my daughter say on the phone, "He'll be fine alone. He always is." He, not Dad. I sat in the dark kitchen, tea gone cold, an outsider in my own home. Then Thanksgiving came. "If you want to join, come wash the dishes," my daughter-in-law said, as if I were an intruder begging for approval, as if I hadn't built the very roof under which she sat, ate, breathed entitlement. I didn't argue. I let silence answer. Days later, my wife returned late again. Hair neat, makeup perfect, too perfect for book club. Book clubs don't leave the scent of unfamiliar cologne on callers. They don't inspire sudden gym memberships at 53. They don't explain giggles behind locked doors. Denial is a luxury the naive purchase with hope. I don't spend that kind of currency. Something was rotten, and I would excavate it layer by layer. No confrontation, no raised voice, just truth, sharpened, polished, waiting. Investigation is simply controlled curiosity. I began with patterns, logging late arrivals, screenshots of texts accidentally glimpsed, bank statements, unnecessary charges masked as friends' dinners and spa trips. Then the whispers I overheard, plans made without me, jokes about old-fashioned men. A daughter leaning closer to her mother and saying, "He'll pay anyway." Funny thing about walls, they echo. I requested account histories, reviewed insurance beneficiaries, pulled property titles, silent preparation, just in case. I hired no one. I trusted no one. I simply observed. Then one evening I found the message thread. My wife, "He thinks he's still in charge." My daughter, "He'll fade out. We just need patience." Fade out? I almost admired it, the ambition of their betrayal, almost. But loyalty isn't measured by almost. My pulse remained steady, my face expressionless. Revenge does not need rage. Revenge needs accuracy, and I am nothing if not precise. The truth didn't come as a storm. It arrived like frost, silent, deadly. Financial transfers traced, messages recovered, voice recordings sharpened. And then the check, the wedding fund, referenced in a text I wasn't meant to see. Once we get the money, we'll help him move on. He'll understand eventually. I printed the thread, placed it calmly on the dining table, waited. She walked in at 7:12 p.m., paused, read. Color drained, hands shook. It's not, I lifted a hand. A small gesture, enough to silence gods. I already know. Her knees buckled slightly. Guilt has weight. My daughter entered moments later, saw her mother's face, saw the papers, saw me. Dad, not he. Too late. I didn't shout, didn't accuse. I simply let them drown in the air they had poisoned, watching them gasp for explanations that would never matter. Weddings are beautiful stages, masks, speeches, illusions. They thought they cast me out quietly, thought humiliation would be swallowed like medicine. Instead, I walked out with the future they planned to live off. Hours later, the photos posted, my Switzerland villa, the view, the private lake. They had forgotten, my wealth was never loud. My silence is where I build empires. 71 missed calls. Not one answered. When desperation came, I didn't revel. I simply deleted each number as it rang. Silence is the sharpest blade, and I gave them plenty. Freedom is not loud. It's a room with a single chair, sunlight, and no one asking for anything. They wanted me small, manageable, predictable. But I am the man who built from nothing, and I do not bend, I do not beg. They expected rage, emotion, collapse. Instead, I offered absence. Absence is permanent, a quiet door that never reopens. Now, when the world sleeps, I sit by the window of my villa, breathing clean air untouched by deceit. They thought I would chase. I didn't. I don't return to fires I walked out of. I let them burn alone, and I sleep unbothered. Some people learn love is unconditional. Others learn too late that respect never was. I didn't lose them. They lost access to me, and access was always the real luxury.